Please remember that all the opinions in the show are those of the host and should only be taken as food for thought. We're in no way telling you to do anything. Everything is kept anonymous for the safety of the listeners and no information is shared to anyone else. If you are easily offended by people's opinions or views, then thank you for making it this far, but this is not the podcast for you. So see you later. And please enjoy the rest of the show.
Talking about getting led into fucking some crazy bullshit, Dan. We've got one from me, and this one is about Heaven's Gate, the cult. Have you ever heard of Heaven's Gate?
Maybe once you start talking about it, I watch a lot of cult stuff.
So Heaven's Gate is a pretty famous cult. It was founded in 1974 and led by Bonnie Nettles and Marshall Applewhite. In the movement, they were known as Tie and Do. T-I and D-O. Nettles and Applewhite first met in 1972. They went on a spiritual journey together where they themselves called themselves the two witnesses of a revelation, attracting 700 people during the mid-70s to join a group. In 1976, the core group was formed with dozens of members, and they stopped recruiting after a while as well. They carried on their lifestyle up until 1997 is when this cult eventually did what it said it was going to do on the tin. And I'll tell you a little bit about that as well. So Heaven's Gate was classed as a Christian New Age and ufology religion. So they actually class themselves as a religion. Ufology obviously means aliens. So we're going down that fucking road. Yes, we are. The essential belief was that the followers could transform themselves into immortal extraterrestrial beings and reject their human bodies and ascend to the heavens. They had to wait for the next level and the evolutionary level above humans. They had to wait for that day to come, and it would be obvious when that would happen. I've got a little clip of the introductory video.
What? These aren't the people that cut their dicks off, are they?
No.
Okay.
Well, they may have later down. I don't know. I haven't read that far.
Oh.
This is their introductory video.
Talk to you about the most urgent thing that is on our mind, and what we suspect is the most urgent thing on the minds of those who will connect with us. We'll title this tape Planet Earth About to be Recycled. Your only chance to evacuate is to leave with us. Planet Earth about to be recycled. Your only chance to survive or evacuate is to leave with us.
That was a really shit fucking... Yeah.
Where he's going to go with that.
Basic as fuck that was.
He's blagging it as he's fucking talking about it, and there's loads of tapes. That's just the introductory tape, but I'm not going to play them all. Where was I? The central belief of the group, the followers that transform themselves into a more... And then the death of Nettles from cancer in 1985 challenged a lot of the group's views on ascension. So he died. Oh, no, she died. Nettles was the female, wasn't it? They originally believed they were sent to heaven and be alive aboard a UFO vessel by that point. Because that never happened to Nettles, a lot of them disbanded from the group there and then.
Yeah.
They later become to believe that the consciousness was merely transferred and she went ahead of the party. Because obviously that's the only way that he could convince him to fucking carry on.
Yeah, of course.
So in 1997, they were famously found, and it's one of the largest mass suicides in American history.
Yeah.
In 1997, deputies from the San Diego County Sheriff's Department discovered the bodies of 39 active members of the group, including Applewhite, in a house in San Diego in a suburb. They participated in a ritual suicide, coinciding with the closest approach of the comet Hale-Bopp. So the Hale-Bopp comet was coming past at that point. They believed that the alien vessel that they needed to transfer their consciousness to escape the recycling Earth was behind the Hale-Bopp comet.
Right.
So these people, there's videos of it all over YouTube and stuff of the San Diego police going in. They all bought matching out like tracksuits and matching trainers. So they were wearing like a purple tracksuit and black Nikes.
Oh, I think this is the people that chopped off their dicks.
It could be. And they all laid in bunk beds, and all 39 bodies were in this house, basically. There was a smaller group of people in another house, but some of them survived because they didn't have the balls to kill themselves in the end. Just before the mass suicide, the group's website updated their message to Hale-Bopp brings close to Heaven's Gate. Our 22 years of classroom here on this planet, Earth, is finally coming to a conclusion. Graduation is near. From a human evolutionary level, we go happier and prepared to leave this world with and to go to T's crew, because obviously T's up in their fucking spaceship.
Oh,
She died
waiting.
fucking 7 years ago. The name Heaven's Gate was used, still used up to this day. The website is still maintained by 2 surviving members who continue to believe that this religion's real and have carried on through it.
I just don't understand. Like, what those 2 people going to do? Like, they're just waiting to get a message to go home.
I have no idea. Like, I attempted to email them because tell them Steve Dave, as you know, I steal a lot of stuff from them. They did a similar thing to our JCBs years and years ago when they first started. And they got in contact via email with one of these surviving members through the website, and they were allowed to ask 3 questions each. But when I tried to contact them, there's no answer. So I think that since they've been on a famous podcast once, they've learnt the lesson to not go on podcasts.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's their belief. 49 people lost their lives that day. Who's to say? They could have ascended, Dan. They could have ascended.
Yeah, but we didn't recycle. So
exactly. Or did we, Dan? We don't know. Absolute.
What were they called again?
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate. Oh, yeah, Heaven's Gate. Oh, there's a film. There's a film.
Yeah, there's been loads of stuff about it. So the structure of the thing was, it was only open to people above the age of 18. Members give up all their possessions, and lived like a very quiet life to avoid any indulgences. It was like a tightly knit group. Everything was shared communally. In public, each member would always carry a $5 bill and a roll of quarters. 8 of the male members of the group, including Applewhite, voluntarily underwent castration.
Yeah. That's what I was. I'm just looking it up now because I was like, I'm sure that's that guy.
The group initially attempted castration by having one of its members, a former nurse, perform the castrations, but the first attempt was unsuccessful, resulting in the patient's death. And caused at least one member of Heaven's Gate to leave. Every castration that followed the first one was done in hospital.
Fucking hell, man! You got to be fucking dedicated.
The group earned their revenue from professional website development under the business name Higher Source.
Higher Source. I'm sorry, but like, no cult should get you to like cut your genitals off.
Mate, cults are crazy. Like when you think about the Jonestown and drinking the Kool-Aid and all that shit, these people, that was hundreds of people, were convinced to kill themselves, kill their children. He was having sex with all of their wives before he did it, before he killed themselves.
Yeah.
And like, have you actually listened to the Jonestown tapes?
No, I don't think so. No.
The Jonestown tapes are harrowing. I would probably do it on one of our next episodes. We'll do an episode on it. And he's like talking them through what's happening, and you can hear people trying to get away and screaming and kids crying in the background because everyone's dying from drinking the Kool-Aid.
Fucking hell.
And it wasn't Kool-Aid either. It was Flavor Aid they were drinking.
Oh, because they couldn't afford the good stuff.
They couldn't afford the good stuff.
You're only going to die. You're not going to waste it. I'll just get you the cheap shit.
He's like, drink up, ladies and gentlemen, because they're all in like another country together on like a camp.
Yeah, they've got their own little, yeah.
And the people, like the people that start clocking everyone dying around them and foaming from the mouth, are like then trying to escape, but they're getting held in by security and getting forced to drink it. It's fucking horrible. Horrible thing to listen to.
The only good cult is a sex cult, Jay.
Well, they start off as a sex cult, then you fucking cut your balls off and you fucking ascend into the Hellbob Comet. So
I ain't fucking cutting nothing off. Yeah, that's mental. I think I'd seen a YouTube about them before.
Yeah, they're classed as the first internet famous cult.
All right.
Because they were around at the beginning of like when the internet started, probably.
You'd think the internet would stop cults because people can just Google everything that people are saying.
I think there's a certain person that can get involved in cults, and I think if you're a certain level of lost, you can get led quite easily.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not going to talk about it because we're not about that. Yeah, that's fucking mental. I don't understand it. As soon as anyone was like, they brought a knife out, and I'm like, what are you doing with that knife? Where's that going? Oh, we're just going to cut your genitals. Oh no, I'm out.
Mate, I would be like, if I walked in and they're like, oh, we believe in a higher power and all this shit, I'd be like, okay, see you later, mate. I'm off.
Higher power. Be like, what are you smoking, fella?
I remember sitting there talking to a few lads, and I discovered they were fucking Jehovah's Witnesses, yeah?
Yeah.
And they're like halfway to a cult anyway, Jehovah's Witnesses. And they're sitting there really talking to me about Jesus. And I said, I'm going to go now. See you later. After football. We played football together. I was like, I'm not listening to this. People buy into that shit, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.